How you doing? My name is Jose and today I'll talk to you about the new release of Salvatore Ferragamo, and I'm gonna be honest, it's one of my favorites and it's Ferragamo Spicy Leather. So first of all, I really enjoy this lineup, I'll be honest. Actually, one of my first videos was actually of the Intense Leather, the Eau de Parfum version, and till the day I still love it. I'm gonna be honest, if you're a young dude and you're looking for a fragrance that can do it all and it's like not that really expensive, like this is gonna be one of your best options. It's not the best one, but it could be one. But that's not the case, right? So this fragrance, let's start with the presentation like we always do. It's the same bottle. The main difference is now it's translucent, it's transparent, so you can see the juice on it. The color, it reminds me like is whiskey, right? But the great thing that this fragrance has, all of this lineup actually, is the spray pattern, right? It's like, oh, it's so smooth. It's like, and other thing in the bottle is like you have like Ferragamo in gold with some accents on it, and as well with some like brown color that it can remind you like of like the leather. And in the box you have exactly the same, but we are not here for the box. We are here because the use is like the good stuff. So first of all, it's a fragrance that it has a citrus power, right? It comes from bergamot and lemon, all right? The thing that is gonna like dominate the most is gonna be the lemon, but it's not that important because the main thing that I'm gonna say that is like, oh wow, goddamn, it's gonna be saffron. This part of saffron, it's like the same saffron that everyone has ever told you like it smells like. The main thing, well, one of the main thing, well, actually the main thing, because it's like the spicy part of the name of the fragrance, is gonna be pepper. This part of pepper is gonna make the fragrance spicy, right? Like almost like you're like smelling the pepper like itself, but as well is not one of the main things. It has clary sage that, I'm gonna be honest, it reminds you a little bit that it can be like a unisex fragrance, but I'll be honest, it isn't. And then you have this part of cedarwood. This part of cedarwood is like you're literally smelling the cedarwood in your hands, like on something to do chef stuff. But there's like the second main thing of the name of the fragrance, and it's gonna be the leather. The leather that is in here, it don't speak like a Gucci Guilty Absolute ombre leather or Tuscan leather, because it doesn't smell like that. It's more like the type of leather that you're going to the mall and grab like a new brand jacket of leather. That's actually the smell that it's gonna remind you of. But there's something more, and it's called patchouli. This part of patchouli, it's going to remind you to like the OG, the original. It still has like that smell that's remind you that this fragrance is actually a flanker of the Ferragamo lineup. So this fragrance, if I can put it like in an image to you, it's gonna be a cedarwood table, put like some leather on it, and then add saffron, pepper, and there's gonna be like two like pinch salts that you can say, and it's gonna be a pinch of lemon and a pinch of patchouli. If you can imagine those things, you are literally smelling the spicy leather. It's a fragrance that when you smell it, you're like, oh wow, this is like a really good fragrance. And I'm gonna be honest, it reminds me of the best Salvatore Ferragamo fragrance that it's actually on the market, and is Testa di Moro. Testa di Moro is the fragrance by choice from Salvatore Ferragamo. It's a fragrance that I smell it and I'm like, oh, I wanna do some things, but that's Testa di Moro. If you like mixed the Ferragamo Intense Leather with Testa di Moro, you mix these both and it's gonna be spicy leather, right? All right, this one is like more playful. This one is like more, let's do some like bad stuff. And if you combine those and it's spicy leather is a fragrance that is like, you know, I wanna be playful and do some like bad stuff at the same time. That's it. It's a fragrance that you smell it like the type of weather that you can use it. I want to say that you can use it in the heat, but you can't. It's a fragrance that The smell, even though it has like this citrus part that's gonna, oh, I can use it in the heat. You can't, I'll be honest. I did use it in the heat like once, and it's not a really good fragrance to do that. But in the other hand, if you use it on the cold, I'm gonna be honest, it's actually a great fragrance. It's a fragrance that it can be your daily beer in cold weather. But you have to have one thing in mind, and it's going to be your age, right? Your age is gonna define if you are gonna use it either like a daily beater or not, because it's a fragrance that if you're like a younger dude, I don't recommend it to use it daily, because this part of spicy leather is more like, you know, I'm a little bit like naughty, which if you thought about it isn't a bad thing in a way. But in the other hand, if you're like an adult, you can use this as your daily cold beater. I told you that it's a fragrance that I recommend use only on cold weather, right? So this takes me to the other part, to the other hand, right? And it's gonna be the performance. The performance is actually pretty goddamn good, right? It's a fragrance that, I mean, when you first smell it, I say it's a dense fragrance. It's a fragrance that you can already tell that it's for winter or for cold weather, but that's why that it has a good performance, a good durability, and it's going to last you around 10 hours on skin. And that's like another thing. The projection is like really goddamn well, I'm gonna be honest. It's a projection that it's gonna defend itself and pass it, right? Not like other fragrances, for example, Creed Aventus is a fragrance that I don't recommend. Well, you can't, or you can, but it's a fragrance that I don't recommend. But in this case, it's a fragrance that the projection is gonna last between like 4 to 5 hours, and then it's gonna be not like null, but like there's still some of it. It's a fragrance that I recommend to everyone, right? It doesn't have an age range, right? That's what I'm trying to say to you. It's a fragrance that it doesn't have an age range, but you have to consider that, okay, I'm a young dude, I can use it like only going here or going there, or you're like, oh, I'm an old man, I'm a grown-up, and I can use it either going here or going there. That's like the thing that you have to have in mind when you're buying this fragrance. But it doesn't have an age range. If you smell it like first smell, you're not gonna say, it's for younger dudes or it's for adults. Actually, no. But that's something that happens in a lot of fragrances. For example, Match Point is a fragrance that I smell it and I'm more like, alright, it's still a bit of sweet, is more for younger dudes. In this case of Spicy Leather, it doesn't have that. It's a fragrance that everyone can use, actually. But that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed. My name is Jose Paulo. Please subscribe, give me a like, or don't, actually. But smell you later.